with this season about a month away until we get Chapter 5, Season 4, and another Marvel-themed season on the horizon, I just want to talk about in this video how I think another Marvel season is not necessarily what the game needs at this time, and why I think it feels a little bit cheap for Fortnite to do. So obviously all the way back in Chapter 2 Season 4, if you guys were playing back in the day, that was actually a really long time ago now that I think about it, that was probably one of the top 10, maybe even top 5 most popular seasons that we've ever had in terms of like the general consensus around the community. And I think Fortnite is trying to double down on that popularity by making Chapter 5 Season 4, which is interesting. 3 chapters later, we're getting another Marvel season, exactly the same season. I think they're trying to double down on the popularity of that, and I just don't think it's going to work. In Chapter 2 Season 4, there was all types of hype around the Galactus event and the build up for that and seeing him in the ocean. And that was probably one of the most highly anticipated events that we've ever had in this game, and it led to all sorts of different things happening on the map. It was kind of one of the catalysts for the storyline aspect of collabs in general with all of the clashing realities, because I believe the next season after that was called Worlds Collide. And the build up for this next season has been not necessarily non-existent, because I think a good portion of the community knows exactly what's going on. We have the Wanderer, which is from Marvel. We have Magneto and the X-Men version of Wolverine, I believe. Don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what's going on. They escaped their bunker. It looks like there's going to be a Wolverine version of Peely coming out in the next Battle Pass as well, because there's a banana in one of the cases. So there is a good amount of anticipation for this new season. But one of the main things that's kind of hindered it is, like I've mentioned in previous videos, we already knew that this was going to happen. With their timeline getting leaked, we knew that this season was coming for a really long time, along with when Chapter 6 was releasing, as well as Chapter 2 OG. Now, a new Marvel-themed season, it won't necessarily be, I don't think, at least I hope, it won't be as, like, Avengers-esque. If you guys know what I mean, it won't be like a bunch of Marvel characters assembling together to take down one common enemy. I think it will be more niche than that. We already see that with Magneto being one of the like a different character when it comes to build up for the season. I know he's already in this Battle Pass, but he is part of the build up for next season, as well as an X-Men character. That's not really as much of mainstream Marvel as we've seen, or as we saw in the previous Marvel seasons. So hopefully they do something a little bit different with this next season than they did in Chapter 2 Season 4. Hopefully it's not as like Marvel, like not as much of a Marvel Avengers, like pretty much just like copycat. I don't want to feel like I'm playing a Marvel game, and at times it did feel like that in Fortnite with the storyline aspect, at least. There's also been some leaks that Doctor Doom is going to be returning to the game at some point, maybe even as the common enemy that these Marvel characters or whoever is introduced is going after, because, you know, in a superhero-themed season, they're going to have the good guys and the bad guys. That's kind of, you know, the cookie-cutter superhero story arc. So Doctor Doom could possibly be returning, a different form of him that we saw in Chapter 2 Season 4 in this brand new season that's coming out. But I'm not hyped about this, and I want to know what the community thinks about this. I'm not as hyped about this one nearly as much as I was the other one. Like I said, because it was already leaked, but also because they've already done it. It just feels like it feels lazy to me. And there's a lot of stuff going on with Epic Games where a lot of it feels really lazy, and I'm concerned as to what their efforts are going towards. I don't know if most of their efforts are going towards Chapter 2 OG. Bringing all that stuff back shouldn't be that much of an issue. I know it's going to be 3 different season updates in a single month if they decide to keep this out for a month like they did the last one. Obviously that could be kind of difficult, but also Chapter 6 is coming out very soon. That's going to be an entirely new map, another fresh start like we get just about every four and a half seasons, including the OG seasons nowadays, which is another conversation for another day. But a Marvel season is not what this game needs, especially after a season like this that wasn't necessarily the most popular. And surprisingly, the Myths and Mortals wasn't very popular either, which was really surprising because in the initial stages of that season, everyone loved it. They were saying that it was one of the most unique. I mean, similarly to Chapter 2, Season 4, those mythics were really, really cool. That's something they definitely always get and get right with it, is the mythics and things. But after they've nerfed this season into the ground and kind of defeated the whole purpose of the season, making it really, really boring and especially dry, it's just difficult for me to think that that's the right direction that they need to go in. It feels like a cop-out, so they don't have to worry about the possibility of another like disappointed fan base, disgruntled fan base with a season that they created. They can kind of just, you know, pin the blame on, oh, it's Marvel's, but I mean, it's not theirs. It might not hurt as bad if it's you know, a collab season than if it was a Fortnite original, I guess you could say. And another thing is, I'm nervous because this season is gonna have to be good. I know in the build up to Chapter 1 OG as well as Chapter 1 OG, Chapter 5 Season 1 was really good, and I think people should expect nowadays for when a season is really good, the next one is going to be not as good. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond to a fan base that has kind of gotten tired of the lack of, you know, updates and the listening to one half of the community and not the other half. It'll be interesting to see how they respond, and hopefully there is a little bit more storyline aspects and more things to involve players in the game outside of just the simple mechanics of Battle Royale. Another thing is All Sweat Summer. They need to bounce back from that really well. Another seasonal event that's coming up in the Marvel season is Fortnitemares. And the last Fortnitemares we had in a Marvel season was really good. They brought in Shadow Midas, which was a really highly anticipated character and skin, and people absolutely loved that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they hit with that, especially after how terrible, like absolutely awful this summer event was. It was pretty much non-existent. Like, if I didn't know that there was an update for this, or if I wasn't on Twitter and like actively participating in, you know, conversations online, I would have had no idea that this was going on. So hopefully they bounce back from that with a really fire Fortnitemares. It's just this next season is really, really critical, and I feel like Fortnite shouldn't get too ahead of themselves working on OG as well as Chapter 6. Because what matters most is the now, and players may be more likely to come back, you know, with another OG season as well as Chapter 6. But I really wouldn't bank on that, because if people decide that they're done with this game, they're just done. So I think this next season is really, really important. Although I don't think it's the right direction to go in, I'm still not equally, but I'm still pretty excited about it for the most part. Hopefully they make a change in terms of, oh my gosh, my my NPC is getting completely bombed. That was crazy. RIP. He was only hired for a few seconds too. But hopefully they make a change and it's a little bit better than this season. I know a lot of people weren't happy with this. A lot of people quit playing. Really the only thing that kept this season alive was reload. So hopefully something changes there with that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Let me see if my duo here and me can win this game for you guys. Stick around to the end to see if we win. It's not looking very good right now, though. But we'll just have to see what happens from here on out. I'm not going to lie, guys. Overall, this season has definitely not been my favorite. I mean, I really do not like the car meta. And they even nerfing it into the ground, it still didn't make it, like, better. And I would have rather them just left the cars as, like, super overpowered than nerfing it like crazy. Okay, you're an idiot. What is happening? Bro. See, I knew that was going to be the death of me. Him having those fists was going to be it, dude. Oh my goodness. GG's. That was still pretty crazy that we came back that far. But let me know what you guys think about a new Marvel season coming out very soon. A repeat Marvel season. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Leave a like on the video even though we did not win. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Use code Prozeroyt, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.